National Guidance, Joyce Sebugwawo. Speaking to the visiting delegation, President Museveni appealed the clan heads in the Uganda Kingdom to desist from using tribes and religion to divide Africans.
Government is endemization government is zomulembe tezisobola kukikwata bulungi n'olwekyo abenono awo lwandibadde olubimbi lwabwe kati bwe tuvaawo ne tugenda ku ekyo kyemugambye ekyempisa bwe tumala okukola audit mu mpisa zaffe ate twandibadde tutuula no ne auditinga enono one by one.
Museveni also told the clan heads that at the moment, focus should be on rebuilding the economy, creation of a bigger market both in Uganda and East Africa and Africa to become prosperous. He also cautioned them on cultures that seek to take the country backward.
No, nkulu, but it must be modernized, must be harmonized with modernity. And if we find bitakwatagana netubireka, this is my tetukyusanga njogera.
Uganda Kingdom originally had 5 indigenous clans. These were Fumbe, Lugave, Ngonge, Njaza, and Nyonyi. These 5 indigenous clans increased over time through subdividing and new arrivals. The clan in Uganda forms a large extended family. Members of the same clan regard each other as brothers and sisters, regardless of how far they are in terms of actual blood ties. A formal introduction of a Muganda includes his own names, the names of his father and paternal grandfather, as well as a description of the family's lineage within the clan that it belongs to. These clans are organized in a way that the clan head is at the top, or Kasoria, followed by successive subdivisions called the Siga, Mutuba, Lunyiriri, and finally at the bottom, the individual family unit, Enju. Mtoni Hilda, UBC.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has also launched a book titled The CEO in You, authored by Irene Birungi Mugisha, the private secretary for administration at the office of the President of Uganda. Now, this book launch was attended by a select group of family, friends and colleagues of Irene Mugisha and turned out to be an inspirational moment for all the guests who attended. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has also emphasized the importance of analyzing and proving ideologies before writing them in books. However, he also commended Irene Birungi Mugisha for authoring such an impactful book that would inspire future generations of entrepreneurs and leaders. The president cited various European economic theories like mercantilism that predicted wrongly the source of economic welfare being based on gold and silver, ignoring many other factors that surrounded the ideology of wealth. In her remarks, the First Lady of Uganda and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, congratulated Mrs. Irene Birungi Mugisha on achieving this promised book and also promised to use this book as an inspirational literature in the schools to awaken the entrepreneurial and leadership potential of learners. Precious Murena Nyike, a Zimbabwean entrepreneur and keynote speaker at the launch, challenged the audience to start thinking of African solutions to African problems. She emphasized that most Africans pride themselves on being readers, yet most of the content they read is either from Europe or America. The CEO in You is a book that tackles entrepreneurial leadership amidst a changing environment, providing tools and insights needed to become a true agent of change. Related to the phrase of the book, "Blossom where I am planted," the Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, spoke to this more on the side of women empowerment in government and also gave credit to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his government for leading the inclusion agenda for gender equity. In other news, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris pledged continuing cooperation with Tanzania as she met with the country's president, the only female head of state in Africa, on her first official visit to the continent. VOA's Anita Powell reports from Dar es Salaam.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris arrived on the second stop of her Whirlwind Africa tour Thursday, meeting with Africa's only female head of state, Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan. She took office when the president died in 2021 and rolled back some of his unpopular policies, such as a ban on pregnant girls going to school and limits on freedoms of expression. The U.S. will provide $560 million in bilateral assistance to Tanzania next fiscal year. On Thursday, Harris said the U.S. will expand U.S.-Tanzania commercial engagement, work toward delivery of battery-grade nickel from Tanzania to the U.S. and the global market as soon as 2026, expand affordable broadband and cooperation in democratic development, biodiversity, women's empowerment, and health projects.
Thanks to the progress of your administration, you have been a champion in terms of democratic reforms in this country, and in that way have expanded our partnership. And so today then is part of the strengthening of the relationship between our two countries. And under your leadership, I have full confidence that we will be able to do just that.
Today, Tanzania has made another historic milestone with two female leaders, the Vice President and the President, meeting here at the State House in Dar es Salaam.
Several students waited for hours at the airport and at the State House to see the highest-ranking woman in America.
She motivates us and she gave us many opportunities, so we are proud of her. I'm expecting a lot of changes in education, in politics, also in finance, economic. We really need to be like America, at least to reach like America in their economic.
Harris also paid her respects to victims of the deadly 1998 U.S. Embassy bombing. She heads next to her final stop on this week-long trip to the southern African nation of Zambia. Anita Powell, VOA News, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Now, news just in that fire has gutted Gaggawala Arcade opposite the new taxi park, destroying property worth of millions of shillings. Eyewitnesses suspect that the fire originated from a building within the building, a restaurant that was being operated within the building. Fire brigade was by press time still put off. Fire brigade was by press time still putting the fire off that had started from the upper floor of the building. Opposition members of parliament have re-echoed the need for public accountability, human rights fulfillment and regional balanced budgeting. This was re-echoed while presenting their anticipated alternative budget priorities for this coming financial year.
To ambush any government minister in the corridors of parliament, tell them to come here, we give them 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and a box of water to speak about the budget approach to budgeting, the program approach to budgeting.
The budget estimate for 2023-2024 stands at Uganda shillings 48.9 trillion, out of which 32.8 trillion is expected to be generated through internal revenue under the theme Rethinking Uganda's Economy, a Human Rights Approach to Resource Allocation. Opposition has listed its key priorities in what they termed as a human rights-based approach in budgeting and resource distribution.
Our approach is, because science teachers are rare and few, our government would second science teachers to private schools. Recruit all science teachers available, second them to private schools, because we have more private schools than government schools. Common sense.
Key in their priorities, the opposition is focusing on is commitment to human rights, service delivery and accountability. It also highlighted the need to develop the ICT infrastructure to meet the demands of the youth.
They are government-funded agencies where we are paying billions of money in their support in the budget. We spend more money to support government agencies that should have given us revenue than the revenue we get.
According to the Deputy Lord Mayor Doreen Nyanjura, the unbalanced resource allocation has seemed to slow down development and sabotage the realization of the budget objectives. She emphasized the need for rule of law and good governance to meet the dynamic needs of the youthful country.
Now, of course, the concentration of resources at the center has bred corruption and impunity. The thugs reside right at the top. This country is yet to recover from one of the most shameful scandals, at least for me, the one that I have seen in the annals of corruption, the Karamoja Iron Sheet scandal.
Different key opposition leaders from different political leanings gave their different views on poverty alleviation projects, including the parish development model and the coffee deal.
In PDM is a game changer, but you are donating it in interest payment 5. Actually, they are going to be 6.
To repossess that land which has been given away, public lands which have been given away, because public lands are given away conditionally.
National Unity Platform President Robert Chagulanyi explained that the undistributed wealth coupled with corruption and human rights abuses needs to be addressed.
Alternative budget proposals are rooted in the principles of universal human rights and equality. Human rights are not a luxury, ladies and gentlemen. It is a fundamental aspect of human dignity that should be respected and protected in all aspects of life. Wealth and power are concentrated in the hands of a small group, and that is why we need an alternative budget which truly represents and prioritizes the needs and aspirations of all Ugandans, not just the few.
Political parties including the Forum for Democratic Change, JEMA, Uganda People's Congress and the National Unity Platform, among others, were represented at the 2023-2024 opposition budget proposal organized by the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Susan Naung and Gloria Guitabinji, reporting for ABC TV.
The Parliament of Uganda is hosting the first African Interparliamentary Conference of Leaders from various countries in Africa to discuss foreign influence on African cultures and family values. The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, or rather the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Badiomosi, who represented the Speaker of Parliament, officially opened the 2 days engagement and appealed to the West to respect mutual relations and refrain from imposing foreign values on Africans. Let's have a look.
As African leaders, as African members of Parliament, we are discussing on how we as leaders, we can strengthen the African family so that the African family does not get disintegrated because of foreign influences. They must understand we are sovereign countries. We can relate we can have partnerships, but the partnerships must be respectful. Nobody should attempt to force their values on others. Things like homosexuality, things like abortions, things like prostitution, which may be cherished in other societies, for us here, we do not cherish them. Well, we do not want to succumb to blackmail. That yes, while we appreciate the partnership we have with the many countries and many partners, and where even we appreciate the support and aid that comes to us, but at no point should anybody think that the aid or the financial support that comes to our countries is meant to suffocate us, is meant to direct us on how we should legislate and what decisions we should take. No.
God created man to rule, but when man fell, the inside of man became corrupt. Although God wanted man to rule, now that man is fallen, he's lost his right desire to rule. Now, instead of ruling in the right way, he seeks to manipulate, to intimidate, to dominate, and to control. This is the corrupted nature of man's dominion. We were created to exercise dominion on earth, but now that man is fallen, he seeks to use this fallen nature, corrupted nature, to manipulate others, to intimidate others, to dominate others.
So at the end of this conference, we hope to come up with an African position that will help shape the future of Africans. We cannot just sit back as leaders and see another recolonization through culture and our own values as Africans.
The construction of a multi-billion shilling seed secondary school in Dufile, sub-county, Moyo district, has failed to reach completion stage after contractors abandoned the works at the finishing stages.
The project was awarded under the African Development Bank through the Ministry of Education for the school to be constructed, 6 classroom blocks and the teachers' quarters as well to accommodate the teachers. But as you can see, the contractor abandoned the project after doing just 2 blocks. So another contractor was subcontracted to complete the work. And the second contractor did 85% and abandoned the work incomplete. And as you can see, the structures are here incomplete. We have a whole block for the lab, the ICT lab, but it does not have equipment and is also incomplete. And as the Inspectorate of Government, we have been investigating this matter. We have gotten to engage with the district leadership and we would like them to take the initiative, sit under a round table and cause the contractor to complete the works that are remaining so that the school can be put to use. So instead of constructing 6, they've constructed 2.
There were only 2 that have been constructed first. And then from there, we came to write a letter to the district at least for 2 times. And then from there were quite a number of around 2 meetings have been conducted here with the cow. That meeting came to the level that now the district agree with the contractor, which is the Tsuru, to subcontract the project to whom the project has been subcontracted. Now started at least the constructing. For now, as we are talking for the project to reach this around 85%, it was that the other second company.
Out of this 2.1, about 4.2 went to the first contractor, and the remaining 1.7 was spent by the second contractor, Export Investment. Export Investment at least did something.
We are saddened by the state in which it is, because the contractor abandoned this site. As a district, when we realized it, we had a site meeting and we engaged him to subcontract. But now the challenge we have is that some of the materials costs have gone higher because the project has delayed. And this contractor and also the subcontractor cannot proceed. But however, the district, under what we call performance guarantee, has secured over 200 million, which is in the account, and for which they can take the project at least to 90%.
Serere district leadership has appealed to government to intervene in land wrangles involving Serere district local government and Moses Omiat, with each party claiming ownership of a 150-acre piece of land. Recently, the Soroti High Court awarded ownership of the said piece of land to one Moses Omiat, a decision that Serere district leadership says was motivated by bribery. This was unearthed at a local accountability meeting held by the Office of the Prime Minister at Bugondo Sub-County, Serere District.
After a series of legal battles over a 150-acre piece of land, Soroti High Court found it benefiting to award a one Moses Omiat ownership.
Even if you move the whole of Serere as a district, nobody has 150 acres. So how could Omiat, a young man, get 150 acres? From where?
Consequently, Serere District local government is set to lose the said piece of land that is currently home to Kasilo Cattle Market.
It is a well-known market within East Africa, not just Uganda as well. So I wonder as a person why he never claimed at that time and he just came of recently.
Besides losing the land, the court also ordered the district to pay costs of 300 million shillings.
But we have lodged in an appeal, and Soroti is not happy with it. For them, they have gone ahead, the High Court of Soroti has gone ahead to say that we should leave the land.
Citing the court ruling as unfair, Serere District local government wants central government to come to its rescue.
Hiring a district lawyer is very expensive. We no longer have that local revenue to help us. So when we use the lawyers in the Solicitor General office, I think they are overwhelmed, they are tired. Most times they even don't attend court. And many of those cases, by the way, they judge them because there is nobody representing the local government.
The case has also affected hundreds of people neighboring the contested land who were directed to vacate by court.
I think you have heard about people going to Ethiopia. We might be involved to go to Ethiopia because now there's no way we can venture to enter.
Already, the Minister of State for Test Affairs, Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, has pledged to take up the matter as his own burden.
You put the system in a very difficult spot by saying, oh, the judge has been bribed just because you have more numbers, but you are squatters. I am not saying you are, I'm just telling you that it is possible that this is what may happen. But I want to assure you that if there was a miscarriage of justice, it will be corrected.
Serere Deputy Resident District Commissioner Ivan Namoma vowed to implement the presidential directives on land matters by stopping the eviction.
For the time that I will be in Serere, I am in for the people, not for one person. I cannot evict the majority, the thousands, because of one person.
All this was during a local accountability meeting held by the Office of the Prime Minister at Bugondo Sub-County Headquarters in Serere District. Joseph Oko, UBC.
Muslims have been urged to repent to the Almighty during the holy month of Ramadan. This call was made by the Muslim leadership at Masjid Mbogo in Kawempe Division during Salat Jummah. MTN Uganda has also partnered with Salam Charity to extend alms to the fasting Muslim community. Let's have a look.
Tawbah literally refers to repentance that is encouraged in this holy month of Ramadan to Almighty for the sins committed by Muslims. Muslims are encouraged to refocus on the Quranic teachings by emphasizing the main pillars of Islam and use this holy month of Ramadan to ask for Allah's forgiveness.
amakulu ekisobyo ekyomanyi nti Allah yakigaana naye kikola ekakokula kimanyi okimanyi bali insanu ala nafsihi basira walau alqa ma'abira kakuru dhurrahma omutonzi waffe musaasi nnyo wakiza nnyo ajja kutusonyiwa.
Sadaka, which is a voluntary charitable act, is another pillar for a Muslim believer to upscale during this month of Ramadan. MTN Momo, working with the Salam Charity, have extended arms to the fasting Muslim community in Kawempe division.
Decided to focus on widows and orphans because when you see among the vulnerable communities, you cannot rule out the widows. So we have decided this year to focus more to widows because these are the communities where the heads of families left them.
Love. We want to give love and respect to the community, Muslim community. This is the month of Holy Month. It's a month of forgiveness. It's the month of love. It's the month of giving respect. It's the month of tranquility.
MTN Momo has selected a specific Muslim community with a special discount on any transaction made during this holy month of Ramadan.
So we have selected stores across the country where the widows will have privilege to use mobile money to purchase foodstuff at 50% discount. So we have discounted foodstuff for all Muslims community, specifically the vulnerable ones who are women and orphans. Discounts will run for 1 month. Basically, we are not going to distinguish and say these are Muslim. However, we have selected stores in all the Muslims community areas.
Sadaqah is a practice emulated from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and would give charity throughout the year and increase the rate of charity during the whole month of Ramadan, and anyone can give Sadaqah of any amount of capacity. Abdul Nasser Lobama for UBC.
And Centenary Rural Bank has donated 200 bags of cement to Chibuli Best Muslim to help in the renovation of the hospital. Centenary Bank Managing Director Fabian Kasi delivered the donation that also included food to aid the Muslim during iftar.
During the holy month of Ramadan, Centenary Bank will give back to several Muslim communities countrywide with several items ranging from food items and construction materials as a sign of its solidarity with its customers. The items were handed over by Mr. Fabian Kasi, the Managing Director, Centenary Bank. In his remarks, while at the Chibuli Mosque Supreme Headquarters, Kasi thanked everyone who joined in the drive intended to support Muslims during the holy month of Ramadan.
They, as a sign of our commitment towards the communities we serve, the bank is contributing 200 bags of cement to support the renovation of Kibuli Hospital, and food items, again, as you will see, lined up there. Today's handover is part of the bank's corporate responsibility, where the plight of the people in the communities we serve is at the heart of everything that we do.
To fight, not to grab, not to dictate, but lita'arafu. Allah said in Quran, I created you from Adam and Eve. And I divided you or make you nations and the tribes to do one thing, lita'arafu, to live with each other.
The Supreme Mufti, Sheikh Mohammed Galabuzi, expressed gratitude towards Centenary Bank for always thinking about the Muslim fraternity and ensuring that they are cared for.
Thank you for our MD and others. Tutwala omukisa okubeebaza olw'enkolagana ennungi gye tulina n'aba Centenary Bank.
Naye nga banka eteeka ssente mu kusibula abasiraamu n'etoffaali nga mukama waffe bw'ayogedde Secretary General, ekyo kirungi ddala.
After the handover, Fabian Kasi recognized the important relationship between the Catholic and Muslim communities. Centenary Bank is contributing 200 bags of cement to support the renovation of Chibuli Hospital and food items. Relatedly, the bank is popular, known as a Catholic bank. Relatedly, the bank is popularly known as a Catholic bank and prides itself in its diversity of faith, and it is no secret that it also has many Muslim customers. Sandra Kahonde, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
The former Prime Minister and Chancellor Gulu University, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, has appealed to USA to keep and maintain the harmonious working relationship with Uganda. He commended the USAID for supporting Uganda in healthcare system, education, tourism, support to civil society organizations, and accountability for the last 60 years. Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda made these remarks in Kampala as USAID celebrated 60 years of supporting Uganda government.
There was glamour as USAID officials, government and partners gathered at Sheraton Hotel in Kampala to mark the 60 years of partnership between USAID and government of Uganda. During the event, the chief guest, former Prime Minister and Chancellor Gulu University, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, appealed for harmonious working relationship between USAID and Uganda.
Let me ask USAID to continue with this good work. You have done the good work. You have harmonized your programs with those of NDP3, with those of Vision 2040, and you have helped create a good working environment between government and civil society. I don't hear quarrels. I hear some really harmony. Let's work on this, because when we work in a harmonized way, we are going to produce even better results and make Uganda and her people.
He commended the USAID for supporting Uganda in healthcare system, education, tourism, and accountability, among others, for the last 60 years.
For one, thank the people and government of the United States who gave generously resources to purchase the RVs that were able to fill this gap.
In the 60 years, USAID boosts of support they have offered to the people of Uganda in healthcare system, especially in the fight against HIV/AIDS, TB, and malaria.
Fewer people are dying of disease and poor health. More children can read. More people will go to university. More farmers are feeding their families. Businesses are hiring more people. The fiscal deficit is significantly smaller than it would be.
The U.S. Ambassador Natalie Brown pledged stronger partnership between Uganda and the U.S. so long as human rights is respected.
And yet another point is to look at development through the lens of human rights. While some global actors have tried to limit or downplay the importance of human rights, we know that those famous lines of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights are true. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, regardless of nationality.
Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
The Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has rallied women in Mityana to always embrace government developmental projects aimed at improving their livelihoods. Nabakova was presiding over this year's belated Women's Day celebrations for Mityana district, held in Butayunju sub-county.
Police in Mityana district on 30th March 2023 stopped the parallel Women's Day celebrations organized by opposition activists and members of parliament. However, the belated district Women's Day celebrations held in Butayunju sub-county went on successfully without any interference. Students, pupils and other members of the community competed in different activities such as music, dance and drama. The events were held in line with the national celebrations, which expressed the need for women to embrace science and technology.
We are 57% in cabinet.
Embracing science and technology, it is very important, and we need right now to use parish development model.
The Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, officiated the function.
Chairperson waffe kwentekamu ekitiibwa wa LC5 ng'agamba temukwata yadde 10 mukiwa olunaku lw'abakyala ng'agenda kubamu ekyabasaba kamu nga yewandiika n'ebbaluwa ezayita abantu bonna abasinga obungi wano nakaawo togeeza n'ofulumya ekikumi kyonna.
In her address, Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba warned that the government will not hesitate punishing those intending to mess up the parish development model program.
And we are going to tell our people on how to engage the different sectors, how to mobilize themselves through the different circles and the different groups that are doing those enterprises to enable them achieve what they want to achieve.
She also challenged members of the public to desist from fragmenting their land. During this same event, Lands Minister handed over a tractor to the area farmers. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The Ministry of Agriculture says that it has a need for agriculture extension workers across the country, as the problem is due to the annual budget which was done without the budget for extension workers. Now they say that they will meet the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture to explain the difficulties faced by the agricultural sector from where extension workers were being cut off from the national budget.
The head of crop protection from the Ministry of Agriculture, Stephen Biantwale, has said they have a need of agriculture extension workers across the country. He was representing the Minister for Agriculture, Frank Tumwebaze, during the launch of the first ever National Agriculture Extension Week at Kabila Country Club.
So currently we are about 3,900 extension staff against a target of about 5,000 that had been targeted in that policy. But now what has brought in a small delay is that Cabinet and His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda pronounced increment in salaries for scientists.
AGRA is very interested in working with UFAS and the Ministry of Agriculture to see that widen extension service coverage. This has been inadequate due to several reasons, budgetary and the like. So we are, as AGRA, we are happy to see if we can be of any assistance to the ministry.
The Uganda Forum for Agriculture wants to meet the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture and to explain the difficulties faced by agriculture.
Currently, we are even going to meet the Committee of Agriculture, that is at Parliament, to discuss the budget that has been submitted because the extension grant has now been scrapped off. And this is an extension grant that has been supporting the extension officers, especially the public extension officers, to do their day-to-day work.
The Uganda Forum for Agriculture also explained that some of the issues they plan to discuss during the extension week is sporadic weather.
The issue of climate change is another dilemma that is costing the agriculture sector. So how are we able to get this with the information, on prompt, so that people are able to get real-time messages and be able to plan accordingly? Of late, the weather changes have been high. There's high pest and disease incidences, and all this is brought about by climate change. So how are we able to circumvent the current existing emerging challenges?
Sudat Kaye and Nduga Nicholas, UBC.
Uganda will soon start earning from the carbon credit generated from the carbon sinks that are over 500 central forest reserves spread countrywide. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Water and Environment, Alfred Okidi, says that the ministry is working on a legislation that will facilitate processing of the untapped carbon credit. This was revealed during a meeting between the Ministry of Water and Environment and a delegation from the European Union.
During the 27th Conference of Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in Egypt, Uganda was one of the countries that signed the Forest Partnership with the European Union. Subsequently, the European Union, together with the Ministry of Water and Environment, have launched the In-Country Forest Partnership, signaling commitment to implement the Memorandum of Collaboration in areas of forest restoration and conservation.
It's a project which is in favor of supporting the commitments of Uganda in the framework of the Paris Agreement. Very important, both on reduction on the national determined contribution and reduction on greenhouse emission, but also on the fight against deforestation and on the protection of biodiversity.
The Minister for Water and Environment is hopeful that the Forest Partnership will deepen cooperation in the field of protection, restoration and sustainable use of forests.
I think you people, the members of the press, are aware you always attack us every day on deforestation and the usual wetlands. So this collaboration with the EU is meant to reduce the rate of deforestation.
With the legislation on carbon credit harvest in the pipeline, Alfred Okidi, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water and Environment, says this forest partnership is timely.
When we are done with the formulation of the regulations, then we will be coming up openly and start trading in a very transparent and open manner our carbon credit for the benefit of the country and the entire world, because that will be a benefit that is not only for us but for the entire world. Thank you.
Already, the Forest Partnership has attracted an initial grant of 40 million euros from the European Union to Uganda. The Assistant Commissioner for Forestry at the Ministry of Water and Environment, Isakatwe Sige, says part of this will be used to tighten the loose ends in areas of law enforcement as far as protection and conservation of the biodiversity is concerned.
Building capacity for traceability and prosecution of some of the illegalities that happen within the forestry sector, but then also at the same time it's supposed to improve value addition.
Going by the latest inventory conducted in 2019, whose findings were published in 2021, the current forest cover stands at 13.6% of Uganda's total land. The ministry targets to recover at least 15% by 2026. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Let's now take a short commercial break. When we return, we'll be back with the business news.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get
freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Jerry con! Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry con with his muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava! Best movies I teach you. When I go to the musicali, because of the cover that is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Eh? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru, and Umaru refuses to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako, n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga. Awamu teri kitulema.
TB kills approximately 30 people daily, and 247 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease every day. TB has killed dreams and families. We all deserve a chance in life to hustle, smile. We all deserve a chance to dream and be the best version of ourselves. It is preventable and curable. Know your status. TB testing, treatment, and all TB-related services are free in all government hospitals and accredited private health centers. It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics has registered a less than 1 percentage point drop in inflation for the month of March in both core and headline inflation. The statistics body is optimistic of a significant drop in the coming months due to local and global factors. Let's have a look.
The annual headline inflation and core inflation have both registered a slight drop in the month of March 2023. The drop is linked mainly to food crop inflation and fuel and utilities inflation.
Mukene, this silverfish, inflation has actually also slowed down to 24.1% in March, this year ending March, compared to 37.4%. And sheets inflation has also slowed down to 18.2% for the year ending in March this month, from 27.3% for the year that ended in February.
Monthly headline inflation for March 2023 registered a 0.6% rise, a trend attributed to a monthly services inflation. In the month of February 2023, a 0.4% rise was recorded. With the heavy rains currently pounding most regions of the country, Uganda Bureau of Statistics is optimistic of a significant drop of inflation, especially for food crops. Relatedly, the Greater Kampala metropolitan area residential property price index for the 4 quarters to Q3 financial year 2022-2023 is registered at minus 3.4% compared to 5.1% registered in Q2 of the financial year 2022-2023.
Residential property inflation in Kampala Central and Makinye rose by 1.8% in Q3 financial year 2022-2023 from the 7.8% rise registered in Q2 financial year 2022-2023.
The rise in quarterly inflation is attributed to residential properties inflation in Nakawa that rose by 5.9%. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
Women and girls are urged to take up science, technology and math courses in order to boost their participation in the energy sector. Now, this call was made at the launch of the 2023 Women in Energy program at Nabisunsa Girls School that is aimed at improving the welfare of the girl child through career mentorship.
Science courses at higher institutions of learning have been a reserve of male students, but the situation is gradually changing in favor of women. The Women in Energy program, implemented by the Electricity Regulatory Authority, aims at inspiring and motivating girls to not only trust in their abilities, but also take up their deserved space in the energy sector.
So we are here to tell them that the science, technology and engineering and math professionals are doable by women, and that we need them in the electricity supply industry to come and replace us because we are growing. I mean, we need ladies who will come and partner and work with men to ensure that we take power to the entire country, to ensure that we fuel the industrialization and create jobs, and we contribute to the economic development, improve the welfare of society and socio-economic transformation of society.
This year, the program has been kick-started at Nabisunsa Girls School with a mentorship session.
What is happening here, young ladies, is that you're being allowed to dream. And I think as we go through our education system and, day to day, we forget to dream. And what I want to leave with you today is hold on to your dreams.
Confidence is key to success. There are so many stories that you're going to hear out there. People are going to tell you some of the things you cannot do them. Some of the things are too high for you. But you have to be confident and you have to aim high.
For some of these secondary school girls, the session was inspirational and vital in their career choices.
I'm really personally really grateful for that option that they gave us, and I pray that we have more of these sessions as the girl child, because we are always being told that the girl cannot go further, the girl, you have too much obligations, you're going to be a wife, you're going to do this, so go for something a bit less stressing. But she has proved to us that we can actually do everything and be perfect at it in the course of the day.
But with government focusing more effort on women or girl child empowerment, what then happens to the boy child?
It was a well-intended focus and plan of government, because by then the numbers of girls and women who are graduating from university as compared to boys and men were few. So the empowerment and the engendering effort of government is yielding fruits. What we need to do now is to balance to ensure that the boy child doesn't feel like he's left behind. Thanks.
Charlotte Amoge and Juma Samba for UBC News.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*10#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
And in the world of sports, the issue of the lack of sports facilities in Uganda will soon be a matter of the past. This is after the National Council of Sports District Outreach Program revealed land set aside for sports infrastructure and development in the north, northeast and eastern Uganda. John Barnes sent with a report.
Contrary to public opinion, government is intent on setting up sports facilities across the country. This has been manifested by the National Council of Sports District Outreach Program that aims at getting titled land at districts that is purely designated for sports. Government will then develop the land into stadiums, and in areas where structures exist, improve them to meet global demand, and in the process, set up 8 regional stadiums. On the latest tour to North, Northeast, and Eastern Uganda, the outreach has been to Gulu, Lira, Soroti, Katakwe, Kapchora, Mbale, and Tororo.
First of all, in our district, we have already land allocated for this infrastructure, but not developed yet. And the message that we have received is a good one, and we're just ready. In case of anything, we are ready to invite the National Council of Sports to come and they look at the land and see if it is enough. They go in for the development of that infrastructure.
A meeting with key stakeholders at Mbale Stadium resolved that unity prevails to address the ownership issue.
All said and done, let's be disciplined. Disciplined how? If a team comes here, for people you know and those you don't know, behave the way we have behaved today. But for you to behave like you behaved when GS came here with a certain team of Americans, where people are saying, division. Say, the division is under what?
Under Mbale.
It's not independent. The city cannot stand without the division. So these are coincident people that should build this city together.
Ngeze serving abantu bangi nnyo kutandikira ku Muzeise Gwanga Musisi president wa Fufwa Hajitwa Kakaire Abbas Kawasi Nyenze Obuwa uyo tutuse mpaka Murindwa mpaka katisa weno Magogo as a president of Fufwa yajangwa mu 90s ngagira mu mikono gyange gino anna kale abatuyamba abaddukirira mutuyambe ekisaawe tube nti tukizimba kidda ku mutindo nga bwe kyali mu 1984.
In Tororo, King George IV Stadium is earmarked for development, with the Elgon View Playground another that the Tororo leadership has earmarked. But as National Council of Sports embarks on revitalizing of district sports councils to help nurture talent, many challenges still exist.
Sports activities in districts are stalled because, for one, we lack the district sports officer, and the people who are acting, they were only focused on schools, not on communities. As a district, we don't have talent identification, places where children and other people can be identified.
We realize that most stakeholders, most learners, most people would want to come and compete and move from one level to another, but they don't have funds to enable them compete favorably.
It's the hope of every Ugandan that after this outreach, government will invest money in sports facilities to help grow sport in Uganda to professional levels. John Barnes, Centenary, UBC News.
Yes, and that brings us to the end of our 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. However, join us later on at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, Mugalu Muhammad in sign language. See you at 10.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle day. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.